Pumpkin is a cultivated winter squash in the genus Cucurbita. The term is most commonly applied to round, orange-colored squash varieties, but does not possess a scientific definition. It may be used in reference to many different squashes of varied appearance and belonging to multiple species in the Cucurbita genus. Pumpkin is sometimes used interchangeably with squash or winter squash, and is commonly used for some cultivars of Cucurbita argyrosperma, Cucurbita ficifolia, Cucurbita maxima, Cucurbita machata, and Cucurbita pepo. C. pepo pumpkins are among the oldest known domesticated plants, with evidence of their cultivation dating to between 7000 BCE and 5500 BCE in Mesoamerica. Wild species of Cucurbita and the earliest domesticated species are native to North America, parts of present-day northeastern Mexico, and the southern United States. But cultivars are now grown globally for culinary, decorative, and other culturally specific purposes. The pumpkin's thick shell contains edible seeds and pulp. Pumpkin pie is a traditional part of Thanksgiving meals in Canada and the United States, and pumpkins are frequently used as autumnal seasonal decorations and carved as jack-o'-lanterns for decoration around Halloween. Commercially canned pumpkin puree and pie fillings are usually made of different pumpkin varieties from those intended for decorative use. Etymology and terminology. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the English word pumpkin is a 17th century corruption of the earlier pompion, denoting any of various kinds of edible gourd. The latter ultimately derives, via French and Latin, from Greek piepsilon piomeganeu, pepon. An alternative theory derives pumpkin from the Massachusetts word popukun, meaning grows forth round. This term could have been used by the Wampanoag people, who speak the Wampanoag dialect of Massachusetts, when introducing pumpkins to English pilgrims at Plymouth Colony, located in present-day Massachusetts. The English word squash is derived from a Massachusetts word, variously transcribed as askta, araskya arasach, ashk 8 taskesh, or, in the closely related Narragansett language, askutasquash. Researchers have noted that the term pumpkin and related terms like iote and calabaza are applied to a range of winter squash with varying size and shape. The term tropical pumpkin is sometimes used for pumpkin cultivars of the species Cucurbita machata. Description: cross-section of a Cucurbita maxima pumpkin fruits are a type of berry known as a pepo. Characteristics commonly used to define pumpkin include smooth and slightly ribbed skin and deep yellow to orange color, although white, green, and other pumpkin colors also exist. While Cucurbita pepo pumpkins generally weigh between 3 and 8 kilograms, 6 and 18 pounds, giant pumpkins can exceed a ton in mass. Most are varieties of C. maxima that were developed through the efforts of botanical societies and enthusiast farmers. The largest cultivars frequently reach weights of over 34 kilograms, 75 pounds. In October 2023, the record for heaviest pumpkin was set at 1,246.9 kilograms, 2,749 pounds. History: this section needs expansion. You can help by making an edit request. December 2022, the oldest evidence of Cucurbita pepo is pumpkin fragments found in Mexico that are dated between 7,000 and 5,500 BC. Pumpkins and other squash species, alongside maize and beans, feature in the Three Sisters method of companion planting, practiced by many North American indigenous societies. However, larger modern pumpkin cultivars are typically excluded, as their weight may damage the other crops. Within decades after Europeans began colonizing North America, illustrations of pumpkins similar to the modern cultivars Small Sugar Pumpkin and Connecticut Field Pumpkin were published in Europe. Cultivation: pumpkins are a warm weather crop that is usually planted by early July in the Northern Hemisphere. Pumpkins require that soil temperatures 8 centimeters, 3 in deep, are at least 15.5 degrees C, 60 degrees F, and that the soil holds water well. Pumpkin crops may suffer if there is a lack of water, because of temperatures below 18 degrees C or 65 degrees F, or if grown in soils that become waterlogged. Within these conditions, pumpkins are considered hardy, and even if many leaves and portions of the vine are removed or damaged, the plant can quickly grow secondary vines to replace what was removed. Pumpkins produce both a male and female flower, with fertilization usually performed by bees. In America, pumpkins have historically been pollinated by the native squash bee, Pepinapis pruinosa, but that bee has declined, probably partly due to pesticide imidacloprid sensitivity. Ground-based bees, such as squash bees and the eastern bumblebee, are better suited to manage the larger pollen particles that pumpkins create. 1 hive per acre, 0.4 hectares, or 5 hives per 2 hectares, is recommended by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. If there are inadequate bees for pollination, gardeners may have to hand-pollinate. Inadequately pollinated pumpkins usually start growing but fail to develop. Pumpkin production 2022. Millions of tons. China 7-3, Ukraine 1-1, Russia 1-1, United States 1-0, Mexico 0, 7, Spain 0, 7, World 22-8 source. FAO/SDAT of the United Nations in 2022, world production of pumpkins, including squash and gourds, was 23 million tons, with China accounting for 32% of the total. Ukraine, Russia, and the United States each produced about 1 million tons. In the United States, a pumpkin patch in Winchester, Oregon, as one of the most popular crops in the United States. In 2017, over 680 million kilograms, 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkins were produced. The top pumpkin-producing states include Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. Pumpkin is the state squash of Texas. According to the Illinois Department of Agriculture, 95% of the U.S. crop intended for processing is grown in Illinois. Indeed, 41% of the overall pumpkin crop for all uses originates in the state, more than 5 times that of the nearest competitor, California, whose pumpkin industry is centered in the San Joaquin Valley. And the majority of that comes from 5 counties in the central part of the state. Nestlé, operating under the brand name Libby's, produces 85% of the processed pumpkin in the United States at their plant in Morton, Illinois. In the fall of 2009, rain in Illinois devastated the Libby's pumpkin crop, which, combined with a relatively weak 2008 crop depleting that year's reserves, resulted in a shortage affecting the entire country during the Thanksgiving holiday season. Another shortage, somewhat less severe, affected the 2015 crop. The pumpkin crop in the western United States, which constitutes approximately 3 to 4% of the national crop, is grown primarily for the organic market. Terry County, Texas, has a substantial pumpkin industry, centered largely on miniature pumpkins. Illinois farmer Sarah Frey is called the Pumpkin Queen of America and sells around 5 million pumpkins annually, predominantly for use as jack-o'-lanterns. Nutrition pumpkin, raw nutritional value per 100 g, 3.5 ounces, energy 109 kJ, 26 kcal, carbohydrates 6.5 g, sugars 276 g, dietary fiber, G-fat 0.1 g, protein 1 g, vitamins and minerals, other constituents quantity water 91.6 g. Link to USDA database entry percentages estimated using US recommendations for adults, except for potassium, which is estimated based on expert recommendation from the national academies. In a 100 gram, 3.5 ounces amount, raw pumpkin provides 110 kilojoules, 26 kilocalories of food energy, and is an excellent source, 20% or more the daily value, DV, of provitamin A, beta-carotene, and vitamin A, 47% DV. Table. Vitamin C is present in moderate content, 10% DV, but no other micronutrients are in significant amounts, less than 10% DV. Table. Pumpkin is 92% water, 6.5% carbohydrate, 0.1% fat, and 1% protein. Table. Uses culinary. See also. List of squash and pumpkin dishes. Pumpkin pie is a popular way of preparing pumpkin. Roasted pumpkin. Most parts of the pumpkin plant are edible, including the fleshy shell, the seeds, the leaves, and the flowers. When ripe, the pumpkin can be boiled, steamed, or roasted. Shell and flesh. In North America, pumpkins are part of the traditional autumn harvest, eaten roasted, as mashed pumpkin and in soups and pumpkin bread. Pumpkin pie is a traditional staple of the Canadian and American Thanksgiving holidays. Pumpkin puree is sometimes prepared and frozen for later use. Flowers. A pumpkin flower. One of the edible parts of the plant in the southwestern United States and Mexico, pumpkin and squash flowers are a popular and widely available food item. They may be used to garnish dishes or dredged in a batter then fried in oil. Leaves. Pumpkin leaves are also eaten in Zambia, where they are called chibwabwa and are boiled and cooked with groundnut paste as a side dish. Seeds. Main article. Pumpkin seed. Pumpkin seeds matured. Pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas, are edible and nutrient-rich. They are about 1.5 centimeters, 0.5 in long, flat, asymmetrically oval, light green in color, and usually covered by a white husk, although some pumpkin varieties produce seeds without them. Pumpkin seeds are a popular snack that can be found hulled or semi-hulled at grocery stores. Per ounce serving, pumpkin seeds are a good source of protein, magnesium, copper, and zinc. Pumpkin seed oil. Main article. Pumpkin seed oil. Pumpkin seed oil is a thick oil pressed from roasted seeds that appears red or green in color. When used for cooking or as a salad dressing, pumpkin seed oil is generally mixed with other oils because of its robust flavor. Pumpkin seed oil contains fatty acids such as oleic acid and alpha-linolenic acid. Animal feed. Pumpkin seed meal from Cucurbita maxima and Cucurbita machata have been demonstrated to improve the nutrition of eggs for human consumption, and Cucurbita pepo seed has successfully been used in place of soybean in chicken feed. Culture. Halloween. Main article. Jack-o'-lantern. A pumpkin carved into a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween in the United States. The carved pumpkin was first associated with the harvest season in general, long before it became an emblem of Halloween. The practice of carving produce for Halloween originated from an Irish myth about a man named Stingy Jack. The practice of carving pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns for the Halloween season developed from a traditional practice in Ireland, as well as Scotland and other parts of the United Kingdom of carving lanterns from the turnip, mangel wurzel, or swede, rutabaga. These vegetables continue to be popular choices today as carved lanterns in Scotland and Northern Ireland, although the British purchased 1 million pumpkins for Halloween in 2004, reflecting the spread of pumpkin carving in the United Kingdom. Immigrants to North America began using the native pumpkins for carving, which are both readily available and much larger, making them easier to carve than turnips. Not until 1837 does jack-o'-lantern appear as a term for a carved vegetable lantern, and the Carved Pumpkin Lantern Association with Halloween is recorded in 1866. The traditional American pumpkin used for jack-o'-lanterns is the Connecticut field variety. Kentucky field pumpkin is also among the pumpkin cultivars grown specifically for jack-o'-lantern carving. Chunking. Pumpkin chunking is a competitive activity in which teams build various mechanical devices designed to throw a pumpkin as far as possible. Catapults, trebuchets, ballistas, and air cannons are the most common mechanisms. Pumpkin festivals and competitions. Giant Cucurbita maxima pumpkins, growers of giant pumpkins, often compete to grow the most massive pumpkins. Festivals may be dedicated to the pumpkin and these competitions. In the United States, the town of Half Moon Bay, California, holds an annual art and pumpkin festival, including the world champion pumpkin weigh-off. The record for the world's heaviest pumpkin, 1,247 kilograms, 2,749 pounds, was most recently set in 2023. A festival called Pumpkin Weeks, Kirpitsaviakat, is held every October in Salo, Finland, at which thousands of different-sized pumpkins and carved jack-o'-lanterns are presented to tourists. Folk medicine. Pumpkins have been used as folk medicine by Native Americans to treat intestinal worms and urinary ailments, and this Native American remedy was adopted by American doctors in the early 19th century as an anthelmintic for the expulsion of worms. In Germany and southeastern Europe, seeds of sea pepo were also used as folk remedies to treat irritable bladder and benign prostatic hyperplasia. In China, sea machata seeds were also used in traditional Chinese medicine for the treatment of the parasitic disease schistosomiasis and for the expulsion of tapeworms. Folklore and fiction. There is a connection in folklore and popular culture between pumpkins and the supernatural, such as the custom of carving jack-o'-lanterns from pumpkins derives from folklore about a lost soul wandering the earth. In the fairy tale Cinderella, the fairy godmother turns a pumpkin into a carriage for the title character. but at midnight, it reverts to a pumpkin. In some adaptations of Washington Irving's ghost story The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the headless horseman is said to use a pumpkin as a substitute head. In most folklore, the carved pumpkin is meant to scare away evil spirits on All Hallows' Eve, that is, Halloween, when the dead were purported to walk the earth. Music vegetable orchestras, such as the London Vegetable Orchestra, use zucchini trumpets, butternut squash trombones, pumpkin drums, and aubergine castanets. Other vegetables played include carrots, bell peppers, potatoes, and parsnips. Cultivars see also. List of gourds and squashes. The species and varieties include many economically important cultivars with a variety of different shapes, colors, and flavors that are grown for different purposes. Variety is used here interchangeably with cultivar, but not with species or taxonomic variety. Image name species origin description Al-Hachai cucurbita machata, Kashmir. The people of Kashmir dry Al-Hachai pumpkins to eat in the winter, when snowfall can isolate the valley. Big Macs cucurbita maxima. United States Big Macs can exceed 100 pounds, 45 kilograms, and 20 and 510 millimeters in diameter under ideal growing conditions. The variety was hybridized for its size during the early 1960s. Individual fruits are round to slightly flattened. Calabaza cucurbita machata Cuba and West Indies. The calabaza is a variety originating in Cuba and the West Indies. It is also cultivated in the Philippines and United States. Cheese pumpkin cucurbita machata North America, possibly from an origin in Central America so called, for its resemblance to a wheel of cheese. This cultivar has been noted for its long storage ability, as well as relatively poor culinary characteristics. One of Duchesneau's 1786 botanical illustrations depicts a fruit that has been identified with the cheese pumpkin. Connecticut field pumpkin cucurbita pepo North America considered to be one of the oldest pumpkins in existence. Widely used for autumn decorations, either whole or as jack-o'-lanterns. Dickinson pumpkin cucurbita machata North America. The oblong, ribbed fruits weigh up to 40 pounds and are widely used for canning. Derived from the Kentucky field pumpkin by Elijah Dickinson when he moved to Illinois in 1835. Libby's Select is classified either as a selection from the Dickinson pumpkin or a selection from the same parent lineage. Dill's Atlantic Giant cucurbita maxima North America. Dill's Atlantic Giant was bred by Howard Dill from sources including the Mammoth pumpkin variety. The variety were patented in 1979, who then went on to set the giant pumpkin in 1980 with a 459 pounds, 208 kilograms record. Gallo-Dicines cucurbita maxima France. The Gallo-Dicines is mentioned in the Villemor and Andrea vegetable catalog, Les Plantes Potagers, in 1883. It is noted for peanut-sized growths on its skin, caused by a buildup of sugar. Its name may have originally been Brede Gallo-Dicines, translating to embroidered with scabs, from icines. Immature pumpkins can be etched with words or designs that become warts as it matures. Gallo-Dicines was reportedly brought to the United States in 1996 from the Foire aux Potiers Pumpkin Festival in Transault, France, by author Amy Goldman. Japanese pie pumpkin cucurbita Argyrosperma Pennsylvania. The Japanese pie pumpkin is so called because its seeds become crazed, resembling to Americans the appearance of Chinese characters or Japanese kanji. This variety was introduced by Samuel Wilson of Pennsylvania in 1884. Jarrahdale pumpkin cucurbita maxima Australiae variety with a blue-gray skin, named after the Western Australian town of Jarrahdale. The Jarrahdale closely resembles the Queensland blue. It cuts easily and has orange, sweet-tasting flesh. Jonathan pumpkin cucurbita Argyrosperma, available commercially as early as 1891 from Livingston seed. The name Jonathan may originate as a form of melioration against the character of Brother Jonathan, which was sometimes used as mocking personification of the United States by satirists in Europe. Brother Jonathan was also used within the United States either as characterizing the epitome of thrift and industriousness or an unsophisticated bumpkin. Kabocha cucurbita maxima Japan. Kabocha is the general Japanese word for winter squashes. In English, the term kabocha is usually used for a green-skinned cultivar derived from buttercup squash. Kentucky field pumpkin cucurbita machata Cuba, Mexico, or the United States Kentucky field pumpkin is among the pumpkin cultivars grown specifically for jack-o'-lantern carving. It has been classified as part of a group of Cucurbita machata cultivars historically grown by the Seminole people of the United States Southeast, as well as by farmers in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Similar cultivars were identified in Cuba, as well as coastal and southern Mexico. Musqué de Provence, Muscata de Provenza or fairytale pumpkin Cucurbita machata France, a large pumpkin from France with sweet, fragrant, deep orange flesh, often sold by the slice due to its size. Seminole pumpkin Cucurbita machata Florida, a landrace, originally cultivated by the Seminole people of what is now Florida. Naturalists in the 18th century recorded Seminole pumpkins growing with their vines hanging from trees. Styrian pumpkin Cucurbita pepo Styrian pumpkins, Cucurbita pepo subsp, pepo var, Styriaca or var. Oleifera have hull-less seeds, which are used in Austria and Slovenia as part of a pumpkin seed oil industry that presses their roasted seeds. Sugar pumpkin Cucurbita pepo North America. The sugar pumpkin is one of the earliest varieties of pumpkin documented by European colonists upon arrival in North America. It has sweeter flesh than the similar but larger Connecticut field pumpkin, from which sugar pumpkins may have been selected.